Hello students, warm wishes to one and all. Hope you are all very well. I think you have watched, enjoyed and got an idea about our previous video, DMM and prefixes and suffixes. Let's have a recap once. The title of the poem Dear Mum, the poet of the poem Brain Pattern. Here we have gone through the mischievous things done by the boy at home, but it was not revealed that he had done. That has to be understood by us. And I believe you have completed the project also given at the end of the poem in your textbook. The title of the topic what are we going to learn today is speech. Read the sentences given below. He said he is not well today. He said that he was not well that day. We see that the first sentence is in the direct speech and the second sentence is in the indirect speech. How can we differentiate whether the given sentence is in direct speech or indirect speech? We will learn by going through these characteristics and rules and regulations. Direct speech. When the spoken words are presented in the same way without making any changes is called direct speech. What is meant by direct speech, children? So, the words spoken by the speaker were taken as usual without making any changes. Direct speech is to report something someone has said by repeating the actual words spoken by someone. Characteristics of the direct speech or features of the direct speech. We place the speaker's actual words in quotation marks. So, where the actual words of the speaker were kept, it is kept in quotation marks. A comma separates the reported speech from the reporting verb. So, how do we separate the reported speech from the reporting verb? Comma. Comma separates the reported speech from the reporting verb. See here. Ganesh said, I am hungry. Ganesh said, reporting verb. I am hungry. Reported speech. We put a full stop, question mark or an exclamation mark at the end of the speaker's actual words. By this, what can you understand? Sentence and kinds of sentences. A group of words which makes complete sense is known as sentence, and kinds of sentences are assertive sentence or declarative sentence, imperative sentence, interrogative sentence, exclamatory sentence. These all kinds of sentences we come across in direct speech. You should be able to recognize the kinds of sentences also. The first letter of the speaker's actual words inside quotation marks begins with a capital. Gaurav said, you are good in maths. You, Y is in capital letter. Indirect speech. When the spoken words are presented by you in your own words, it will be in indirect speech. So here what should you understand is, meaning will not be changed in indirect speech, but the exact words of the speaker will not be repeated in indirect speech. Characteristics of an indirect speech. We do not use quotation marks. So what we will not use in indirect speech, quotation marks are not used. The comma separating the reported speech from the reporting verb is not used as there are no quotation marks. Here in indirect speech or reported speech, we do not use a comma. Why do we not use? As we are not using quotation marks. Conjunctions like that, if or to are used for introducing the reported speech. What kind of conjunctions are used there, children? That, if or to are used for introducing the reported speech. We do not use question marks or exclamation marks, only a full stop is used at the end of the sentence. It may be any kind of sentence in direct speech. Coming to indirect speech, it will be assertive or declarative sentence. How can we understand that? As the sentence ends with a full stop. It may be any kind of sentence. Even the imperative sentence also ends with a full stop only, children. But they don't mention in rules of the imperative sentence. If the subject is mentioned, then only full stop will be there. rules for changing direct speech into indirect speech. The tense of the reporting verb never changes. Reporting verb tense never changes. If the reported speech expresses a universal truth, a scientific fact, or a habitual action, the tense of the reported speech remains unchanged. So, reported speech. To remember these rules and regulations, you should know the difference between reporting verb and reported speech. So, if the reported speech expresses universal truths, scientific fact, or habitual action, tense will be unchanged. Unchanged, prefix children, changed, unchanged, antonyms. So here reported speech remains unchanged. Our teacher said, reporting verb, sun sets in the west. Reported speech. Our teacher said that the sun sets in the west. As it is universal truth, it comes as usual without any changes. If the reporting verb is in the present or future tense, the tense of the reported speech does not change. If the reporting verb is in present or future tense, what happens? Tense of the reported speech does not change. See here. He says, I am thirsty, says present tense. That's why he says that he is thirsty. Always remember, third person is used in reported speech. She will say, I was not doing well. Will say, future tense. She will say that she was not doing well. When the reporting verb is in the past tense, the tense of the reported speech is changed in the following way. When the reporting verb is in the past tense, what happens, children? Tense of the reported speech is changed in the following way. How? Simple present becomes a simple past. He said, the girl works here. He said that the girl worked here. The girl worked here. So, always in the previous slides, I have told you third person will come. Here the girl, as they did not mention I, you, here they have mentioned girl. That's why you have also mentioned the girl. Those also should be observed by you carefully, children, at the time of writing direct speech into indirect speech. Present continuous becomes a past continuous. Present perfect becomes a past perfect tense. Present perfect continuous becomes a past perfect continuous tense. Simple past becomes a past perfect tense. Amrita said, I wrote a poem. Amrita said that she had written a poem. You should have an idea about tenses also. Kinds of tenses: present tense, past tense, future tense. And again, each tense is divided into 4 categories: simple present tense, present continuous tense, present perfect tense, present perfect continuous tense. These all should be remembered by you. Even past and future also in the same way, 4 will be there. Past continuous becomes past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect is not changed. If the reported speech in direct speech is there in past perfect, it comes as usual in indirect speech also. Ram said, I had taken my dinner. Ram said that she had taken her dinner. The tense of the helping verb changes as follows. Until now we have learnt about tenses. Now we are going to learn about helping verbs. How do they change? Can into could, shall, would, may, might, will, would. Jyoti said, I cannot speak properly. Jyoti said that she could not speak properly. Go through each and every example, children, then you will get an idea. The words showing nearness of time or place change into words showing distance of time or place. Here we are going to learn about the words related to time or place. How should we change from direct speech to indirect speech? This, that, these, those, here, there. Now, then, at present, at that time. Later, after, today, that day, tonight, that night. Here spelling mistake children. That night, yesterday, the previous day or the day before. Tomorrow, the following day or the next day. Ago, before. Come, go not always means as per the situation the word may changes. Tonight, that night. Next week, the following week. Last night, the previous night. Examples. Karan said Amir will be here soon. Karan said that Amir would be there soon. Will change it to would, here change it to there. My sister said I will buy a new dress tomorrow. My sister said that she would buy a new dress the next day. Tomorrow he changed it to the next day. Now, what did we learn until now? The explanation related to direct and indirect speech. Same explanation given in your grammar and more also. Go through each and every point very carefully, then you will get an idea. Rules to remember. Complete these sentences with the verbs from the box. Use them in the correct form. You won't need all of them. Here they have given you fill in the blanks, and to fill the blanks they have given you options above the sentences. But you don't need all the options. You have to opt them very carefully. They have given the options more than you need. Caution. The tense of a sentence should not be changed if it is a universal truth or scientific fact or habitual action. Exercise B. Choose the correct words to complete the sentences in reported speech. You have to choose from the options what did they give. Answer these questions using complete sentences. You can do that activity children. Exercise C. Change the sentence into indirect speech. You have to change the sentence into indirect speech. Change these sentences into direct speech. And exercise D, they have given indirect speech. You have to change it into direct speech. Exercise E, fill in the blanks in the comic strips. The dialogues have been reported below the comic strip. So below the comic strip they have given you dialogues. You have to fill in the bubbles with the help of those dialogues. Check your understanding children. After completion of this you can do this exercise also to check your understanding. Here exercise E, they have given you a schedule and asking you to summarize that based on the schedule what did they give. As we write the summary of the lesson, in the same way here you have to write the summary of the table or schedule what did they give here. The hints they have given in your material. What did we learn related to tenses? How should we change the tense into another tense in indirect speech? Simple present to simple past, present continuous to past continuous. Then here they have given you auxiliary verbs also. How should you change? Present perfect to past perfect, present perfect continuous to past perfect continuous tense. Simple past to past perfect, past continuous to past perfect continuous, past perfect no change. We have gone through examples also children, tense wise. Past perfect continuous no change. Shall, will to should, would, can, could, may, might. Pronouns and adverbs are changed in the following manner while transforming sentences into indirect speech. Here also they have given you questions related to exercise related to direct and indirect speech. That also has to be completed by you. Story writing using an outline children. Story writing given in your unit 4 in the material. Let us go through that also. The outline describes a sequence of events with the characters in the form of points or short phrases. Outline describes the sequence of events children with the characters in the form of points or short phrases. So you will get an idea by going through that. Complete sentences will not be there. Phrases will be there. Short phrases, those also. characters of the story. How the characters of the story will be there. The characters in the story may be people, animals, and sometimes even non-living things who talk and behave like human beings. So the characters in the story may be people, animals, sometimes non-living things. How do they behave? Generally people can speak and think, but not animals or non-living things. Here they also behave like a human beings and they can also speak and think. Where the characters in the story. Developing a story from an outline. Rules and regulations has to be followed. How should we develop a story? Read the outline of the story carefully and understand what the story is all about. You have to go through the outline twice or thrice until you get an idea. Develop the points of the outline into complete sentences. There they have given you short phrases, but you have to write them in complete sentences form. Follow the outline of the story. It should not be deviated, even though you add some extra points related to the story that can be added also. Then only it will be interesting to read. Follow the sequence in which points are given. These points form the series of events in the story. What do they form, children? They form series, connectivity, cohesion should be there. Do not omit or delete any part of the outline. It should not be omitted or deleted. Then meaning will be changed or it becomes meaningless. Do not include unrelated or unnecessary events that may change the story completely. Irrelevant events should not be added there at the time of writing the story, as it changes the meaning of the story. Then it becomes meaningless. Every story has a beginning, middle, and an ending. Include details to make the story interesting and enjoyable to read. So what should be included there? Some interesting points relevant to the story, which makes the readers to read in a enjoying way. Write the story in the past tense even if the outline may be provided in the present tense. Very important point, children. Always story should be written in the past tense even though they give the outline or hints in the present tense. Introduce a dialogue or conversation to make the story engaging. Use a direct speech when introducing these conversations. So you can understand how can you use the direct speech, as we have learned right now about direct and indirect speech. Go through the sentences. What did they give as examples under the heading direct speech and indirect speech to understand well. Title of the story. How can you decide the title of the story? This will be apt for this story. Choose the title that it is related to the main characters or events of the story. You have to choose a title. Okay, I have gone through this. What kind of title will be suitable or apt for this story? Write the title using title casing, in which the main words begin with the capital letters. Main words begin with the capital letters. Avoid the use of quotation marks and punctuation marks in the title. You have to avoid the usage of quotation marks or punctuation marks. These should not be used in the title unless it is a sentence. If it is a sentence, you can use, or else no. Outline of the story. Go through here outline of the story for a while. Ant, thirsty, river, slips, drowns, dove, plucks, leaf, fall, climbs, floats, thanks, hunter, gun, aims, dove, stings, food, screams, noise, flies away. So for those hints to develop a story, this suitable title. This is the suitable title. The Ant and the Dove. As we are writing a story about that. Beginning, middle, ending should be there. The title of the story, The Ant and the Dove. Once you go through this, then you can understand very easily. Interesting points. Connectivity should be there at the time of adding some of the points at the time of writing the story. And you can use adjectives and adverbs also. This adds extra fascination or attraction to your story writing. So you may know, you may think, I don't have a good idea related to adjectives or adverbs. You can go through your grammar and more exercises in adjectives and adverbs, as they have given many exercises in your grammar and more. Above the exercises, they have given options also. If you go through that, you will get an idea what kind of words can be used, and immediately you will get more words than you have gone through in your grammar and more. Cautiously, fortunately, luckily, unexpectedly, regularly, occasionally, willingly, gradually, politely, hurriedly, attentively. These are the adverbs. In the same way, adjectives also you can go through. You can use them to make your writing very beautiful. These are the questions given in your material, children. Go through the video carefully and then answer these questions in your notebook. I think you have understood very well, and complete the assigned work to learn well. Thank you. Have a